Hey my friends, today I'm taking you back to the year 2010 where I shot a high school football game in Arizona, and then in 2017 I shot a high school football game in Arizona, same football stadium, however, two different cameras. If this is your first time visiting my channel, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you can learn more about sports photography. It was a dark Friday night. The lights were shining down on the stadium. They weren't very good lights though. Two rival teams cross town, battling it out. Standing room only because the stadium was packed. And I was there shooting with a Nikon D70S. The highest ISO was 1600. So we're gonna take a look at a couple of those photos, and then I'm gonna show you some photos I took in 2017 at the exact same stadium under the exact same lighting, however with a different camera. All right, let's jump into that. I know what you're thinking. This photo is underexposed, and yes, it is underexposed, but I want you to see the settings. But actually, before we get to the settings, let me show you this real fast. This was the camera, this was the gear I was shooting with, a Nikon D70S, a Sigma 50 to 150 2.8 lens, and you can see stuff's pretty old, like 2009 or something like that. Something like that. All right, back to the photos. Yes, it's underexposed, but check out the ISO 1600. I could go no higher than 1600 with this camera. 1/180th of a second. That's the shutter speed. That's so slow for football, right? Okay, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. That's what I had to deal with. I didn't have much choice, and we could fix it a little bit. See, we can brighten it up. It's not too bad. See, we can live with that. All right, let's move on. Here's what happens though. I was trying to get enough light in because there just wasn't enough light at this stadium. ISO still at 1600, 2.8, but I dropped it down to 1/90th of a second. What happens when you do that? Well, let's take a look. I got enough light in there coming in there, but look at this. He's kind of in focus. He's blurry, blurry, blurry. Anything that's got too much movement is blurry. So see, that's why you have to keep your shutter speed up. Next photo. Now this one's not bad. It's underexposed. ISO 1600 again, 2.8 and 1/250th of a second, which helped me to freeze. You can see the action's frozen. You can get away with 1/250th of a second if you really have to, and you can clean it up. If I do that to it, it's not too bad. I can't do much more to this because you can see all the noise already starting to show up. It's actually probably too noisy. And let's go ahead and do it real fast. We'll drop some noise reduction in, and that's the best you could do. That's how bad this stadium was. Okay, one more real fast. 1600, ISO 2.8, 1/250th of a second. At the close stuff you can see up here, it looks a little blurry. You get to him though, he's a little farther away, so he's not bad. That was my focus. And again, you could do this. What the heck is that big thing there? I don't know. But you can't do much more with it. Now let's move to 2017. Exact same field, same lighting, different camera. This time I have the Nikon D7200. I'm shooting at an ISO of 5000. Wow. Another Sigma 50 to 150 lens is the updated lens. And 1/500th of a second for the shutter speed. Much better. So this one, you're off by a little over stop, which isn't bad. We can live with that, right? All right, next photo. I tried to find photos that were similar. ISO 5000, 3.2. Don't know why I did that, truthfully. 1/640th of a second. We're definitely stopping the action. See, he's frozen. Nice. But it's underexposed. And there you go. He's lighting it up here off by what, 1.5 stops approximately. We got this one here, 1/500th of a second, ISO 5000. See, the action is frozen. They tell you not to go below 1/640th, but I'm showing you proof you can actually go below that if you really have to. Now, I could have pushed the ISO up to 6400 with this camera probably. I didn't feel comfortable at the time because of how dark this field is and the way it looks. I was a little worried about noise. Let's see, this one's not bad. You can live with that. Here's another one for you guys, same type of settings. This one actually is pretty good with the lighting. It's a little underexposed, just a little bit, maybe a stop. So the purpose of this is to show you that, sometimes gear does matter. Yes, the technology advanced quite a bit between these two cameras, about 10 years, I believe, between the release dates. But say you've been shooting a couple of years now and you feel like your photos just don't look like they should, or how you feel they should, and you understand this exposure compensation triangle, you know what you're doing, you know how to position yourself to make great images, but they're still not looking right. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it is your gear. I know, that's going against the grain, but those who say that the gear isn't the problem and it's the photographer, Those are the people with tens of thousands of dollars invested in their gear. But sometimes it's your camera, it could be your lens. So next time you're having troubles and you really feel like it's not you, take a look at your gear. Maybe that's the problem. I know several years ago I had a camera and it was doing great in certain conditions, but then I was getting frustrated because I was missing focus, even though the focus point said I was right where I should be. Now, what I found out with, and this is what you have to do, you have to analyze where the problems are when they happen so you can figure out what's going on. My camera was having troubles with dark uniforms in low light conditions. I had the hardest time trying to focus on those. So what did I do? Upgraded my gear. Solved the problem immediately. Got a better lens, got a better camera body, and next thing you know, wow, those images I couldn't get a couple years before, even the year before, I'm now able to get. So next time you're having troubles and you're getting frustrated, don't get sucked into that fallacy that it's you. You just don't know what you're doing. You need to shoot more. You need to study more. You need to look at other images so you know what you're doing. Sometimes it is your equipment. Sometimes you have to get new gear. And don't be afraid to do that. If you want to make great images and you want to become a really good professional sports photographer, or maybe even a really good hobbyist, you're going to have to do some investing. You have to get a better lens, better camera body in order to shoot in certain conditions. Daylight conditions, almost any camera will work. But the stuff we deal with, nighttime conditions, terrible lighting, rainstorms, snowstorms, we're out in the elements, sometimes you need to upgrade your gear. Are you having issues with your equipment, with your photography? Maybe you don't know what the problem actually is. Well, leave some comments for me and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Or maybe someone else in the sports photography community can answer them as well. So thank you for joining me, and as always, get out and shoot.